Manchester United are back in the Champions League after a 2-0 victory over Leicester, and that is absolutely massive. It feels absolutely massive, and I'm just so relieved. To be honest with you, that's the main feeling of relief and happiness. The fact we got the job done. We got the job done away from home against Leicester. Everyone was not confident. I didn't speak to a single United fan who was confident that we were going to win the game. Maybe draw the game. I think a lot of United fans were thinking that we could get a point out of the game. But I didn't hear many United fans that were wholly confident of getting the win. But to win by 2-0, absolutely massive for our future going forward, massive for our plans in the transfer window, and just massive for the rest of the season in terms of the Europa League. We can now go to the Europa League. We don't need to worry about having to win it. We have no pressure. We can play kids. We can rest players. It's just a great scenario for Manchester United right now. And for all those people that hate on Ollie, where are you now? Where are you now? Third in the table. There you go. It's proof is in the pudding. You can't tell me that we didn't deserve it, because the Premier League does not lie. That's the great thing about the league. The league doesn't lie. Wherever you finish in the season is where you deserve to finish. And we finished third. And it was an amazing run by us to get into this position. And we deserve it. We got third. And to be honest with you, as I said, as you probably, if you guys were watching my preview before the game, I was not confident going into this game, and I don't think any United fan was, especially after the performances we've been seeing in the last few weeks. But we turned it around in this game. We got it done, and as I said, it was moments that did it for us. Different moments of quality. We've been winning games in moments ever since the restart, and we did it again today. The penalty stuck away from Bruno Fernandes, which is absolutely sensational. We've broken the record, so that'll just add to the salty tears that you'll be seeing on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff on social media. So make sure you drink that in as much as possible. Everyone's going to be saying about Man United, Manchester United, and listen, maybe it's true, but it doesn't matter, because we have got our name next to that third place spot, and they can't say anything about that. It's the league. The league doesn't lie, as I said. They can't say anything. We finished third. No need to qualify for the Champions League. We're in third position. We've beaten Chelsea to third place as well. And, we were getting bantered. I mean, I wonder if Sifon's going to join us today. I wonder if he's going to, come in and give his thoughts on how Arsenal have done this season, or how we're going to bottle it and everything like that. But anyway, welcome to everyone that's joined. Mo, Man United fans, Dan United 2, Sam United, thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Absolutely buzzing, guys. Absolutely buzzing, to be honest with you. What more can you say? Really, the game, we didn't play a great game, and to be honest with you, the performance in that game was just the exact same sort of performances we've seen in loads of games this season. In fact, the games leading up to this one, it was almost a mirror image, seeing the way we were playing and how we were just, not creating chances. We were poor, really, in that first half, and I thought it was going to be deja vu. I had a really bad feeling we'd get done. And obviously we didn't even concede. We kept a clean sheet, and that is very much indicative of the way our defenders played today. They were absolutely solid today. I thought Victor Lindelof had a very, very good game today. And Harry Maguire coming back to the King Power Stadium and getting a clean sheet when it mattered. Because I think the last time we got a clean sheet was the Aston Villa game. Oh no, Crystal Palace game actually. But still, to get the clean sheet at the most important time in our season is big props to Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. They did a fantastic job today, it has to be said. For me, I thought Matic didn't do too badly either, actually, especially in that second half. Defensively, I thought he was decent. His distribution with the ball wasn't great, but I actually think defensively, Matic was one of our best players. And obviously, Martial to get the penalty, really, really good work. And Bruno Fernandes scoring another penalty for Manchester United. And I don't care if anyone thinks Bruno Fernandes only scores penalties, because 15 goal contributions in 14 games for Manchester United. It might be the other way around, to be fair. But 15 goal contributions in 14 games for Manchester United. Back-to-back player of the month in the Premier League. Again, proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. And so, everyone who said Bruno Fernandes was going to be a flop, I was one of the people who wasn't 100% convinced on spending all that money on Bruno Fernandes, putting all our eggs in that basket. But boy, did it pay off. And I have to apologise to anyone who told me that Bruno Fernandes was going to be amazing, because I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you that he was going to hit the ground running like he did. But he absolutely has. And he's changed the way this team is playing. We haven't been beaten in the league with Bruno Fernandes in this team. Unbelievable stat, really. So he is probably the biggest impact on a team I've seen. Before he came in, we were done for top 4. There was no chance of us getting top 4. Everyone had written us off. And now look at us. We're in 3rd place. Obviously not comfortably in 3rd place, but we get into 3rd place on goal difference. We don't have to qualify for Champions League. Chelsea will have to play an extra 2 games as well, or maybe only an extra game, depending on what they do with the COVID-19 situation. But it's just a massive weight off our shoulders. A massive, massive weight off our shoulders today. A 2-0 victory. Lingard as well getting on the score sheet. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see him score what could potentially be his last Manchester United goal if the papers are true, and we'll have to wait and see on that. But to get his last Manchester United goal potentially in a game of this magnitude, absolutely unbelievable, and so happy for him. And if that is his last goal, he has done a good service for us, even though we do banter him a little bit. You have to say fair play to him. He's provided some brilliant moments for us. Not only this moment, but Arsenal away during Jose Mourinho's 2nd season. All these good moments Jessie Lingard's provided. And you can't say he hasn't been our worst player. You can't say he hasn't been one of our better players since Rex Ferguson retired. He's had a brilliant impact on the team. Welcome Issa, Krishna and Patrick. Thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. Issa says, absolutely buzzing, mate. Felt more happy when Lingard scored. I celebrated his goal more than the penalty. Up the Red Devils, Champions League, here we come. Exactly, it's so good to finish a game with a goal. It's so good. It's the perfect way to finish. Welcome True Football Analysis. Welcome Cassie, mate. Thanks for joining. Bruno is fatigued, injury. Let's give him a rest. 100%, mate. We need to give him a rest. 100%. The way he was, the way he was going, you could just tell in the game he was fatigued. And he does need that rest in between now and the Europa League. And even in that game against Lask, we don't need to play him. So that's a potential for 3 or 4 weeks rest for him. And I think he's definitely earned it. 100%. Bruno Fernandes has earned that rest. Patrick says, Lingard man of the match again. Good evening. Good evening, Patrick. Thanks for joining. Yeah, listen, Lingard man of the match. At this point, I don't care, honestly. I mean, people say Lingard definitely not, but mate, he scored the vital goal at the end there. I think we probably already known we had top 4 in our hands at that point, but just for Jessie Lingard to score like that is just so fulfilling and rewarding, and very happy, very happy for him indeed. Sam says League Cup and FA Cup final goals, of course. Those, I mean, who can forget those goals? Who can forget the League Cup and FA Cup final goals? Scoring in the FA Cup final in injury time, in extra time, unbelievable. The volley, scoring obviously, as you said, in the League Cup final against Southampton, which turned out to be a very important goal as well. So, yeah, he's had some brilliant moments for Manchester United over the years. And if it is his last goal, then that'll be a little bit sad. But obviously, I do think that he is a player that does need to move on realistically. I don't see him really playing much of a part as a squad player, but I think he wouldn't be the worst option to have, but I don't see him playing too much of a part. Paddy says, one thing not feeling right is Pogba staying back. He's at the best when he's in attack-minded. Home next season, he is deployed that way. I think that's right. Listen, I think we have seen in the games we dropped points this season that Pogba's been playing too deep. Pogba and Matic have been playing way too deep. And they're almost too close together at times. And when we've, opened teams up, Pogba's always been one of those further forward, creating chances. And today, when he did get forward, he did create. And, Leicester players did back off him a little bit. So, I think, at that point, Pogba is definitely more of an attacking midfielder. Obviously, when you've got Bruno Fernandes in there, and Solskjaer seems to think Bruno Fernandes is the more attacking option going forward, which is fair enough because he has had a lot of goal contributions and things like that. So proof is in the pudding in terms of statistics-wise. But you also have to look at it in terms of Pogba. Paul Pogba can create, and we know how good he is going forward. So I think that's a good point, Patrick. I think it is a good point. But guys, I'm going to get onto your calls now, because that is what I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear you guys how happy you are. Yep. And also, I've also got some lovely scran as well on the way. So I'm looking. I mean, it's all coming up Millhouse. It's all coming up Millhouse right now. But yeah, definitely. I'm going to open up the floor for calls now, because I've said enough. I've been babbling on enough. I want to hear what you guys have to say on the situation, on the matter. But yeah, man, what a victory. I was going to say what a performance, but what a victory that was. We just needed 3 points. We just needed 3 points, and we got 3 points. When was the last time we could say that? Everyone was saying we're going to bottle it. I thought we were going to bottle it, to be honest with you guys. Even when I said I think we could draw the game, I was still thinking we're going to bottle this. We're going to bottle it. It's going to be an absolute disaster, but we got the job done, and that is all that matters. Rasmus, how you doing, Rasmus? Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it as always, Rasmus. Patrick says, Chelsea getting business done, Werner and the other bloke, Ziyech. Why can't we get a signing in without going through 15 years of rumours? Exactly. I mean, this Sancho signing, again, one of the really long drawn-out transfer sagas that Manchester United have. And that's the one reason why I'm a little bit worried that it might not happen. When the saga is so long, so drawn out, it can be very, very difficult. It can be, obviously in that time, the player could easily change their mind about stuff. They really could. United at the wheel, Chucky, how you doing? Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Third. Enough said, mate. Enough said. As we've been saying in the chat, listen. Where was that Arsenal fan? Where's Siphon? Where is Siphon coming? Where is he? I'm looking forward to, if he comes in the stream. I doubt he's going to show his face in this stream. He wouldn't dare show his face after what's happened this week and what's happened over the season. But still, I just think ultimately we've got third. The table doesn't lie. The Premier League does not lie. That's the best thing about the Premier League, and that's what we've been told all the time by rival fans. Well, you're fifth. The league doesn't lie. Well, now we're in third, baby. Now we're in third. Does the league lie now? Does the league lie now? I'm telling you. Raza says, I hope that Champions League is secured. Sancho signing will be done and dusted very quickly. I hope you're right, Rasmus. I hope you're right, because the quicker we can get that signing done, the better. Because I think if we were only to bring in Sancho, I don't think that's enough. And whilst I don't want to sound like a spoiled United fan or anything, I think Sancho would be a brilliant signing for Manchester United. But I think it's naive to think that we don't need to strengthen any more other than Sancho. I think actually there are different places on the pitch we could look to strengthen. Obviously we didn't have Luke Shaw today as well, so we didn't really see how our best 11 was starting today and how it was playing today. But I think mainly it's squad depth. If you looked on the bench today, the only reason why I was worried was because who on that bench were we going to bring on that was going to make the vital difference if we weren't getting goals? You know what I mean? So it's obviously we got the win, so it doesn't matter. And you know what? I'm not going to be negative. I'm not going to be negative today. Today's not the day to be negative. Maybe later when we're doing a season review, we can kind of reflect properly on the season. But right now is not the time to be negative. Now is the time to be positive, be happy, and just revel in all the salty tears you're going to get from Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans. Just hook it to my veins, lads. Hook it to my veins. Welcome Dazza and BMO Swifty. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Absolutely buzzing, as you can see in the live chat. But guys, as I said, I have opened up the Skype, so if you guys want to Skype in, please do feel free to do so. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, especially after today's win. I'm sure everyone is absolutely buzzing, so I want to hear what you guys have to say on the matter. Sam says Sancho to sign this week. As I say, I hope so. I don't have any information. I wish I had some information, to be honest with you, Sam. I wish I was one of those in the know accounts on Twitter, you see, but I don't. I've got no information. And I feel like maybe the fact that both Bundesliga and Premier League have ended their seasons, potentially you could see the deal accelerate maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. First caller. the man, the myth, the legend. And by the way, if you want to check out his reactions, he did a watch along as well, so make sure you check him out if you haven't already. Yeah, Dazza, mate, absolutely massive victory. I talked to you straight after the game and you were absolutely buzzing. I'm sure you're no different right now. Just want to say welcome, Raymond. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it, Raymond. As always, we did it, mate. We did it, Raymond. We did it. We got the job done. Absolutely buzzing. BMO says, looking at today, we need a backup from Matic. We can't have Matic being bad first halves like that. I think Matic in the first half definitely wasn't brilliant. In the second half, I thought he was decent. But in the first half, he wasn't great. And especially since Matic is kind of getting on a little bit, I think we will look for a potential replacement. And you never know. Maybe we played against our replacement today. If you know, you know. And yeah, guys, keep getting your comments in, guys. Rasmus, I'm going to ask Dow as well, Rasmus's question. What do you think about our goalkeeping situation? Would you trust David De Gea beyond the season? But before we get to that, Daryl, as I said, keep getting your comments in, guys, as we speak to one and only Daz's football stand. If you don't know, make sure you check the channel out. But yeah, Daz, I'm sure you're absolutely buzzing. I mean, I know you're absolutely buzzing with that. What I'd ask you what your thoughts are on the game, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. But in terms of, you know, how this sets up our future, you know, how are you feeling right now?
I'm absolutely over the moon. And considering, you know, we won a back foot in the Champions League race for practically the full season. We were like 5th or 6th for majority of it. And, you know, we left it late to get into the top 4, but at the same time, it was great, wasn't it? You know, and no better feeling than winning on the final game of the season to secure your 4th place spot. And actually, not even 4th place, 3rd place.
Exactly.
As well. So we're back in the big time now. And, you know, I have to say, it's been a roller coaster season, I have to say. For the first season, we were, you know, a bit sluggish, weren't amazing. We were dropping points in quite a few big games. But the second half of the season's been a breath of fresh air, really. You know, 19 games unbeaten. That was in a row in all competitions. And then, obviously, you know, we won today. It wasn't our best performance, I have to say. I didn't think we were great. I thought the first 10 minutes, I thought we started the brightest. But I think our problem was chance creating, because we weren't creating that many chances. Obviously, Bruno's goal was offside, and I'm not going to argue about that because he was miles off.
Yeah.
But that was a great. I have to say that was a great goal. That was probably the best goal I'd seen all day from United. And you know, it's just a shame it was offside. So we could have been in a much comfortable position if that goal had stood. You know, but I thought Leicester came back into the game because obviously when Bruno scored the offside goal, they came back into it. We let them, you know, put pressure on us, and I thought, I'm not going to lie, defensively, I thought we were rather solid. You know, we were denying runners at times, and you know, we obviously denied Jamie Vardy, and Harry Maguire with an incredible tackle, incredible tackle from inside his own penalty area. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a brilliant chance. That's going to be a corner. And not only that, he'd won the fucking goal kick. So I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's superb. But no, I mean, it's fucking amazing, I have to say. I'm absolutely buzzing. Literally, words cannot describe how happy I am. I've literally just had a takeaway to celebrate it.
Oh,
literally.
Good on you, mate. What was it?
As usual in traditional style, it's amazing because, and you know, I didn't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when he came in as manager, you know, and this is obviously going back when Jose Mourinho got sacked, but he was only in as interim manager, and I was like, okay, so we're bringing in a manager who's got no Premier League experience as such as a manager, apart from Cardiff, which obviously he didn't do very well there. And all the United fans were like, oh, there we go. So we've got a United legend who doesn't know how to manage a club.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how he played football at Molde. You know, he won the trophy there, I think 2 years in a row. So that gave me a bit of confidence that he might be someone who can get us at least Europa League spot. But I didn't think in his first season that, his first proper season as a Manchester United manager, I didn't think for 1 minute we'd be in the Champions League at all. And obviously he's got us into the Europa League quarter-finals, should I say, because realistically LASK won't get anything. So you could say win the Europa League quarters and we'll be taking on probably Basaksehir. Now, they're not going to be easy. We've got, obviously, he's got us to an FA Cup semi-final. He got us to the Carabao Cup semi-finals, beat Manchester City 3 times in the season, beat Chelsea 3 times. And I mean, just, it's been quite a season for him as manager. And all the United fans, I mean, I predicted us to finish 5th, so it wasn't a bad prediction.
wasn't too far off.
But no, it wasn't too far off. I was only 2 places lower, but
yeah.
I thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though he might not be the most experienced manager in the Premier League, he's done a fantastic job. He's brought in, Bruno Fernandes, who was a player that we'd been wanting for goodness knows how frigging long. Since he's come in, he's been a big part of the midfield. And the relationship between him and Pogba is brilliant. It's absolutely superb. But I still think there's room to improve. Question is, though, where can we improve?
True.
The thing.
I mean, that's obviously going to be the ultimate question Solskjaer's got to answer in the summer. I think Jadon Sancho, this deal seems like it's going. But I guess on that question, if obviously, right now is not the time to be, saying what players aren't good enough or whatever. But at the same time, in terms of who you'd like to see potentially come in next season, obviously talk of players like Jack Grealish. Is there anyone else on your mind potentially United should look for?
I mean, we've been linked with Jadon Sancho, haven't we, for a while, and I mean, now we've got Champions League football. I can guarantee, we'll see more of the bigger names coming into the club because at first, we were looking at the likes of Bruno Fernandes and big players like that, and we were thinking, well, I mean, he's probably not going to come because we're not in the Champions League football, we're not playing Champions League football and stuff, and now in Champions League football, we might see some of the bigger names at Old Trafford. I don't want Jadon Sancho, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't, because I'll tell you why. And I know a lot of people will say that. A lot of people will probably disagree with me. He's a good player in the Bundesliga. I don't know if he's going to be good enough in the Prem, though. That's the thing. And that's obviously the risk you take. But I wouldn't want to pay. We paid 80-90 million for Pogba, and he's only just turned the screw second half of this season. And we don't want to sign a player who's going to cost us over 100-odd million because Dortmund have got him completely overpriced. I have to say, I watch the Bundesliga every single week. I've seen a lot of Sancho, quality player on the right hand side in the Bundes. Don't think he's got it in him to be a good player in the Prem, though. And for me, if I was going to price him 55 mil at the highest, or 60 even, but for 100-odd million for a young player is ridiculous. And that's, I would say, I think the price is about 120, which would be actually, believe it or not, which would be more than Atletico Madrid paid for João Felix. That was
that is
115. So, I mean, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay that much money for a player who, there's no guarantees he's going to do it in the Prem. So, and who needs him when you got Mason Greenwood finishing chances?
True.
I mean, he didn't get. I don't think. I thought Greenwood had rather a quiet game today, mind. I mean, he was on the ball a bit, but he didn't do really much. He didn't get crosses in as such like we normally see. He wasn't in the box for a lot of the chances, and I would still prefer to have him though rather than Jadon Sancho. That's a player. He's a player who can actually, finish chances, and I'd say he's one of the best finishers in the Premier League. I mean, that's probably a bit a bit bizarre, but
Yeah.
no, if you look at some of his recent finishes, though, his finishing's top notch. But I thought today he was just quiet. He didn't seem to have much of the game, really. And I think if I was going to bring players in, I mean, I would say I think United could do bringing in another left back. I know because Brandon Williams had a decent game, but he's not going to start often, is he?
True, yeah.
At the minute, he's only starting because of Luke Shaw being injured. So I think I'd like to see a new left back at the club, and somebody like, it's a tough one. I don't think he started today. Ben Chilwell.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. I think he might have been injured. Yeah, I think a lot of people, are looking at potentially Ben Chilwell.
I know there's been a few people speaking about him, and I'm thinking, I mean, if he can score goals like he did at Watford, then we've got to play on our hands. And he's quite good. I mean, he's popped up with a few goals for them this season, Leicester City, and I think he was another player who I thought that they really missed today, as well as their other man, Ricardo Pereira. Obviously he's injured. Jose Perez should have started, and I was quite surprised by the fact he didn't start, because he's a quality player.
Yeah, true.
I would rather have Jose Perez rather than Jadon Sancho, I'll admit, at United, because at least he won't be as expensive.
True, I guess you're right there.
And don't forget, the reason I'm saying that is he's got more experience in the Prem, because he's played for Newcastle and Leicester. So he's had a few years in the Premier League, and he knows just how difficult it is. And if you're bringing in players like Bruno, who's had no Premier League experience, there's no guarantees that they're going to be any good. Bruno has been amazing, and he's actually shocked me, because I knew he was a good talent, but I didn't think he'd do it in the Prem. So I was quite surprised. But I would rather bring players who have Premier League experience rather than bring in players that don't have any experience, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, true, yeah. Well, yeah, listen, I think, obviously experience is definitely key in the Premier League, but it's one of those things where obviously it's important, but then you look at Bruno Fernandes, and he hadn't played in the Premier League, and I think a lot of people were worried, especially when he was coming from the Portuguese league, thinking would he be able to do it in the Prem, and he's actually done very well for himself, to be fair to him. He's turned our team around, so I think it does take a certain quality of player to be able to hit the ground running straight away. But hopefully, if we were to sign Sancho, which you never know, he could get hopefully he also has the same sort of impact, and hopefully he'll be able to settle in well, especially when he's got England teammates with Rashford and Maguire and people like that with him. So I think for me, we may as well go for the Sancho deal, in my opinion. But I do see where you're coming from, Daz. Daryl, mate, thanks for joining. I apologise, I have to cut it a little bit short. I think we've got a few people that want to come on. But cheers as always, Daz, for coming on. Really appreciate it. I'm so happy we're having a chat in such positive circumstances.
At least you're actually being positive for once.
Exactly.
Like the last 2 or 3 performances.
Exactly, Daryl. Exactly what I was saying. It's just positivity all the way. So just good vibes. And thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Make sure you check out Daz's Football Stand if you haven't already. But thanks, Daz. Appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, mate. See you in a bit.
No worries. Daz are absolutely loving it. And why not? Why the hell not? Why not? All right. The next guy, I think, will be bringing a similar energy. Here he is. Welcome, by the way. Welcome, A. Rodriguez. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. But my man Chucky from from at United at the Wheel. Make sure you check him out if you haven't already. Hi, mate. How are you doing? I know you're absolutely buzzing after this win.
Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, you there?
I'm there. Can you hear me? Hold on, it might be. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. But Azealia, let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm not sure what's gone wrong there, to be fair, but yeah, well, hopefully we sort that out in a second.
Can you hear me, bud?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hey,
oh, cool. You're all right.
I'm good. I
good.
can hear you now.
Hey,
my fault, man. It's all that Hennessy I'm drinking. It's not Hennessy. See, that's how much I'm drinking. I don't even know what I'm drinking.
Oh, mate.
It's all that Kawasaki I'm drinking. It's got me all confused here. I was connected on my Xbox. I'm connected on my PC as well. That's how committed I am to Red Devil Weekly. I subscribed twice, people. It was you doing it. Anyway, how you doing, my man?
Hey, mate. Well, what can I say? I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Absolutely buzzing right now. I'm sure you are absolutely just absolutely buzzing, absolutely over the moon with the result, with the third place. People were hating on us. People say we couldn't do it. Ollie's come and got third place. I'm just gonna let you go, mate. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude, I am so pleased right now. The beginning of the season was absolutely dreadful. Everybody and their grandma, even grandmas were in on the act, had a meme for us, had comments for us, had everything to laugh at. Rightly so. We were a joke. People wanted Ollie sacked. There was lots of doom and gloom. And then we got the break. We readdressed after that Burnley match. We just readdressed everything and we just improved. And long may it continue. And we got what we wanted. Not many people could see us getting third earlier on in the season. But after after that Burnley match, and we signed Bruno, I said to myself, I think we can get third. Everyone else was telling me I'm bugging, I'm crazy, but I just didn't see any reason why not. Yeah. And this was my logic. Even last season, when we came sixth, I believe we came sixth with the fourth best team in the league. So I don't care where Arsenal finished. We're better than them. Banter, idiots. But anyway, I knew we had the fourth best team. And then this season, when I looked at it, we had the third best team in the league. There was no arguments about it. As you said earlier on, the league don't lie. And it's there. The proof is in the pudding. We got what we needed to do. And we finally achieved it. It wasn't a pretty match, but it didn't need to be a pretty match. I didn't care how we won the match. In fact, I was glad we set a new Premier League record. We're getting the most penalties in the season. Yeah, reveling in it. Hate it, everyone. Hate it while I love it. Can you remember that season when our second top scorer was OG, on goal? Man, that was a dire season too. Apparently we're bare lucky, aren't we? But no, we're not lucky. We created our own luck. We put ourselves in the position we're in now. We deserve what we got. And we're in the Champions League, man. We're playing Tuesdays and Wednesdays, not dealing with that Thursday business, man. It is such a good feeling, such a good release, stress-free. I'm loving it, man. Yourself?
Oh, mate, 100%. Listen, I'll echo what you're saying there. As you said, it's just a weight off your shoulders. That going into this game, everyone was nervous, thinking, what if we don't do it? What if we bottle it and we're having to play Europa League and it's all doom and gloom again? Where does this team go from here? But to get that Champions League football, for me, is just such a relief, and it's positive going in for the future as well, because now, as you said, we play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and you never know, we could actually do something in the league. Obviously, when you're playing football on Thursday nights, it screws up your schedule playing Thursdays and Saturdays.
Thursdays and Sundays.
Thursdays and Sundays. Sorry, yeah. Like you don't.
Pressure.
I can't think of a team that's been in the Europa League and that's won the title. I can't think of any team that's done that. So to get into the Champions League, and not only just for our future in terms of having not having to play Thursday nights, but also the future for our transfers as well. Having Champions League football is massive to attract players. I think even though Manchester United are a team which can attract big names, even if we're not in the Champions League, I think this just widens our scope even more, to be honest with you. But Bruno Fernandes scoring the penalty, as you said, I was absolutely buzzing when we got that penalty, to be honest with you. Just the salty tears, I could feel them dropping in the air. I could feel it. We set the new record. But Bruno Fernandes, the impact he's had has been absolutely unbelievable. What have you thought of him? Not just in the game today, but this season.
Bruno Fernandes is phenomenal. As I've said on your show before, man, I've been watching Bruno Fernandes for the last 2.5 years. 2.5 years ago, I saw his name on stats and I assumed it was a striker. And I thought, this is ridiculous. Then I told myself, it's just the Portuguese league. But then, like I said before, I watched everything he did. And I thought to myself, there is no reason he cannot do that in the Premier League, which will bring me into a point I'm going to come on to in a minute about Jadon Sancho. We'll come on to that. But Bruno Fernandes is he's doing exactly what I expected him to do. In fact, you might think I'm crazy with my next statement. He's underachieved a little bit as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh.
But that could be down to the fact of fatigue to a degree. I expected a little bit more so. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I know. Sounds absolutely mental, but I expected a little bit more so. As for somebody who's for the last 2 years goal contribution per game stands to be almost 1.5. I expected a little bit more so, but then you could say because of a new team, Premier League pressure, what have you not, but he's doing exactly what Bruno Fernandes should do, and that's the pinnacle and that's the level of sort of players we should be going after. I mean, all due respects, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Opinions are very interesting, but I can't. As someone said earlier on, mediocre. I can't be looking for mediocre players to come and jump onto my United squad. We need a quality of Bruno Fernandes and above. That's the sort of player we need. That's the sort of players we should be going after. That's the sort of standard our players on the pitch now, not pitch now, in our squad now should be aiming towards. His professionalism, his attitude. Even though he didn't have the best of matches today, he still did what he needed to do. Still kept on plugging on and plugging on and plugging on. Had a goal disallowed, but Bruno Fernandes, man, wonderful, wonderful player. And let's pay some respect to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as far as I am concerned. Heavily criticised for all sorts of reasons. Any decision he made was second guessed. He decided to stick by David De Gea. Ayo, you saw David De Gea last match. You saw David De Gea this match. Where are we? In the Champions League, he could have gone for Romero, put pressure on the entire defence. Man, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves the respect that he should be getting. He deserves everything. All the plaudits should be about him in the papers tomorrow. He did what he needed to do. He's a young manager. And the previous caller was saying you didn't know what type of brand of football he played at Molde. I can tell you, it was attacking Manchester United style football. That's what he did at Molde. Same reason why he struggled at Cardiff. He thought he could play that there. And he got a rude awakening, realising he didn't have the talent to back it up. Over at Molde, it's not the best of leagues, yes, but he had a talented group of players that could compete within that league. Give the guy the right tools. He knows what he's doing, man, and he will prove it. He's only going to gain more experience. That's an entire season under his belt. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season in the Premier League, he gets third place, man. You can't take it lightly, man. It is what it is. It's an absolutely big thing to see. Respect the guy. I mean, there's all sorts of questions about to be answered about our squads, which I'm sure you probably throw some questions at me in a second. So I'll let you go for it. Yeah, throw some questions at me. Let's go.
Well, I was just about to say, actually, True Football Analysis says, Chucky, you've gone mad. You've gone mad, mate. There you go. So,
I'm mad? I don't understand. Is that good or bad? I've gone mad. I've lost my mind.
Mate, I tell you what. Look, this is the time to lose your mind and go mental, mate. It's one of the times where we've done what we need to do. There's no pressure on us anymore. You may as well just go mental. But anyway, yeah, I concur what he said. Ollie, there has to be some respect on his name. I think there has to be.
100%.
I think a lot of people, especially midway through the season, I think after that Burnley result, when we lost 2-0 at home, a lot of people were calling for his head, saying he wasn't good enough. And the way we've turned this around, and the way he's turned it around, is...
I'm glad you corrected that.
I haven't actually seen this from any Manchester United manager, really, since Alex Ferguson left. This sort of dramatic turnaround.
Ferguson, that's the last time you saw it. 13 points. Arsenal Football Club were flying. He decided, nah. And also, I believe it was 12 points that Liverpool were ahead at one point, and then that never quite panned out. So, yeah, it's only Ferguson who does these sort of things, man. Well, you're right. He's always doing Ferguson-type things.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you what, if he can have even, a fifth or a tenth of the career Sir Alex Ferguson had, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it'll be a fantastic time for Manchester United fans in the next 5 to 10 years. And I really hope we can keep Solskjaer long term. For me, I think what we've lacked really is a bit of stability in the managerial department since Sir Alex Ferguson left. We've been through, this is the fourth manager we've been through since he left. And I think what we need to do in a proper rebuild, you need to keep someone and believe in the process. And I think anyone who right now who doesn't believe in the process is mad. For me, is absolutely mad. Like, I can understand some, there's a few criticisms here and there, but I think ultimately the way we're playing right now, it wasn't the best of performances we did today, but we've got Champions League football. We're back in the Champions League. We've got the money to continue the rebuild, to put more into the squad.
Don't underestimate the financial implications, for real. You really let's not underestimate the financial implications. I try not to dwell on money too much in football because it's not our money at the end of the day, but do not underestimate that for a second, man. It could be it could be the difference between getting Jadon Sancho, even though I don't believe that. I believe Jadon Sancho is always going to do what he wants to do for his footballing career. But yeah, on to Jadon Sancho now. Just throwing some stats out there. I heard some people saying they'd rather keep Greenwood. First of all, Greenwood is not Jadon Sancho. I love Greenwood. All respects to Greenwood. Jadon Sancho is a level above. And that's not just based on opinion, just based on fact. And how long he's been doing it. I'm not saying he's a more natural finisher. Greenwood obviously is the more natural finisher. Greenwood's ceiling is probably higher, but don't underestimate Jadon Sancho for a second. This is one of Europe's top flight leagues, first of all, in Germany. Look what Bruno did in Portugal and brought it over here. So don't think Jadon Sancho can't do that and bring it over here as well. Look at what he's done internationally. Maybe not scoring all the goals and getting all the assists per se, but he played the same exact game with the right players around him. Jadon Sancho would be amazing at Manchester United. Not for any second should we think we should not get Jadon Sancho. Without Jadon Sancho, we are what we are this season, which is third. If we want to challenge for more than third, we have to get him. Jadon Sancho's contribution per game, goals per game, he contributes a goal or assist every, I think it's less than 65 minutes. So every hour he gives you something. Think about that. That is nothing to be taken lightly. When we got players, as in Pogba and Bruno, not turning up, even though Bruno did not turn up today, but he did feed Martial before Martial got an assist by getting kicked for him, which is a bit of a strange thing, but that is what it is. Let's not forget, we need some other players to find something different. And Jadon Sancho definitely is a player who can do something different. With Jadon Sancho, you can leave Aaron Wan-Bissaka to do what Aaron Wan-Bissaka does best, which is tackle. Aaron Wan-Bissaka finished the Barclays Premier League as a top tackler. Top tackler, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He can leave him to do what he wants to do there, leaving the team with a little bit more balance. If we got to buy players, we definitely got to find creative players, obviously, and then we need balance. A quicker centre-back. I keep hearing Ake mentioned. I don't know if he's the level I want anymore, the more I think about it.
True.
I'd rather have Chris Smalling back than Ake. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that. Cris Smalling is a better central defender and just as quick as Nathan Ake. So it's levels to this. Levels. If we're going to get a CDM... Sorry, I'm off on one now. If we're going to get a CDM, it's got to be Ndidi. It's got to be Ndidi or that level or above. If we're not going for Ndidi, we've got to go for a box-to-box sort of a midfielder who can play other positions. And which we find in what's his flipping name? I've forgotten his name now, man. I've got a brain freeze right now. What's his name? I've gone now. There's a box-to-box player who's linked to us. Is it De Jong? No.
Was it Van der Beek? Van der Beek, was it?
Van der Beek. I knew it was it was one of those lovely names that just obviously I forget. But Van der Beek, Donny. Yeah, I said Donny. It's got to be Donny. If it's not indeed, it's got to be Donny. Someone who can play in other positions as well. There's levels to this. It's got to be the top level. We can't settle for players who we're going to be putting on who are not better than what we've got. End of the day, man like Jessie Lingard went out and scored his goal today, but a lot of the players I'm hearing other people mention, I don't think are better than Jessie Lingard. Yes, they perform better than Jessie Lingard, but I don't think are better than Jessie Lingard. There's levels to this. It's got to be top levels. I put Grealish not quite top level, but I will take Grealish because Jack Grealish has got something different about him. And as far as not having Premier League experience, let's not overestimate how good this league is. Yes, this league is very exciting, but this league is exciting because it's competitive at the top. As in we have a top 6 on like a top 2. But it doesn't mean that the levels of individual players, technically and by talent, is above foreign leagues and foreign players. It could be an element of that English bias we're hearing about talking in that feeds into us, but we do get our papers from our media over here. But yeah, what do you think about all that?
Well, yeah, listen, I mean, I think, especially with, your shouts like, Ndidi, I think Ndidi would be a brilliant signing for us, first of all. I think, I thought today he was decent for Leicester, and in some ways Leicester were a little bit unlucky not to get more out of the game. Obviously, we just took the chances when we got them, but Leicester actually for a lot of the game were very much on top, and I think he was a very decent player. I think this whole season he's been decent, and as you said, I think the main point you made there, which I fully agree with, is the fact that we need to be looking at Bruno Fernandes type quality players if we're going to bring them in. We need to be looking at that sort of quality now. I think the worst thing we can do is start looking at players that are trying to save money, trying to cut corners here and there, bringing in players who we know aren't quite there yet, but we're just hopeful they're going to be there in a few years' time. I think right now is the time we should capitalise on the fact that we're in a good position financially. We've just gone back into the Champions League and we need to capitalise on that. And that's why I think, for me, Jadon Sancho will be a brilliant signing. I think
it's a must.
In depth, for me, I think we need to look at some signings as well, because I look at the bench today and it wasn't that inspirational. Obviously, as you said, Jessie Lingard came on and got his goal today, and Ighalo, I think, actually is not a bad option, but these are not players that I see being at the club for years and years to come. So I think whilst we also have to strengthen what we've got on the pitch, and that is definitely something that we must do, I think also if we are going to look to challenge for those top trophies, depth is something we really need to look at. And I think players like maybe Jack Grealish, players like that can really help in terms of strengthening depth and just making us a stronger squad rather than just a stronger starting 11. Because I think if you look at the like Liverpool and Man City, those are sort of people that we need to look towards, because they have really strong squads, not just strong 11s, but strong squads that they can throw players on.
Jack Grealish is a good shout, definitely. I'm not just saying it because everyone else is talking about it. It's the way he plays, the other position he plays is as well, because we always seem to get injuries. He can play it elsewhere. And also, he's still got a ceiling of growth in him. Definitely. Definitely got a good ceiling of growth to become even better with better players around him. That's why I'm saying people like Jack Grealish. And outside of Jack Grealish, I can't really think of anyone who's affordable or available that we can go and pick up. Obviously, if there's world-class players out there that's available to go be picked up, we'll go pick them up. But as we see, Manchester United, we don't seem to do transfers too quickly. Just as important as bringing players in is we got to get players out. No offense to them. I don't think Oli can either. He can't have next season with Pereira and Lingard both there as his options. That's not going to happen. One of them's got to go. Phil Jones, thank you. He's been there a decade. Nuts. But yeah, he's got to go. Phil Jones has got to go. And as far as players, more players coming in, I can't think outside of CDM, centre back, and another attacker. But Jadon Sancho is a must. But anyway, man.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I know. Yeah, I think. Yeah, listen, I agree. I think those are the main positions. I think most United fans would agree on. But yeah, for me, it's that, and I also think as well depth has to be looked at as well, because you can have a brilliant starting 11, but as we saw this season, and what actually makes getting third this season a big achievement is the fact that we lost Pogba, we lost Martial, we lost Rashford at parts of the season. We only had Bruno Fernandes, from January onwards. So, just to go back to the fact we got third, which is obviously, I'm taking a lot of pleasure in going back to that. Of course, I'm going to keep going back to that as much as possible. But listen,
third.
The fact that we didn't have those players and we did that is fantastic. However, if we want to challenge for a title or challenge for Champions League, we need to be able to cope when we get those sort of injuries to key players. We need to be able to bring players off the bench or bring players in the squad to the starting 11 who can do, even if they can't do the same quality job, they can still do a decent job and still fill a hole and plug a gap to the best of their ability. That means that we can still play the football we want to play. And I think, as I said, that's what Man City and Liverpool have as well. But final question I want to ask you, Chucky, man. I want to ask you this question. Obviously, we talked a little bit there about the transfer window. How far do you think this Manchester United team can go next season if we have a really solid transfer window and we prepare well for the start of next season? How far do you think this United team can get next season?
Man United, 3 to 4 signings of quality, we're challenging. It's not how far we're challenging. Second, we'll have to be aiming for at least second. If we get 3 or 4 signings. If we get 2, it's a stretch, and we're hoping we can keep them together. But if that team can keep fit, that squad as it is now, as crazy as it sounds, starting 11 over an entire season, I think they can come second. Based on what I've seen this season, they can come second as it is. Are they 95, 90 plus points? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then, are we going to keep seeing 90 plus point seasons? I also don't think so. I'm thinking some normality will creep back in. And also, Liverpool can't keep it going forever. And pressure will tell eventually. I don't know how long they can keep that going for. But yeah, with 3 or 4 signings, we're challenging. I expect a challenge, definitely. Anything less is disappointing, yeah. 3 or 4 signings, people, We're back in Fergie days. That's what I say anyway. Hey.
I like that. If we're that close, then good times are very, very close. I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping you're right. And if we have a good transfer window, yeah, I agree. I think we could definitely look at challenging. I think even though you get a lot of people saying this team is a million miles away from Liverpool, and as I said, even the fact we're third, the table doesn't lie, but the fact we're so that we're so far away from Liverpool, I don't know how many points it is. I kind of stopped counting, to be honest with you. But
that's not a lie either. 30 points, maybe more.
Exactly, it doesn't lie. Like Liverpool were far and away the best team in the country this season. But I do agree with you that I think even Liverpool fans know it's going to be more difficult next season. They think they know they've got more competition. Obviously, Man City as well. They're going to come again. But I think with a couple of with 3 or 4 new signs, as you said, and if we can be more consistent, that's the one thing that I would love to see from this team. If we can keep up that form we saw after the restart consistently.
That will come with players, man. Consistency will come with players. We couldn't be consistent. People might be thinking we had such a big break, and then why the players looking so tired is because they are tired. That's why they're looking tired. It's mentally draining and physically draining, and you've got nothing to refresh you. So you got to keep keeping yourself going. Today they pulled themselves through with professional performance, especially from Pogba. I thought it was professional today, but consistency will come with a big enough squad when you've got enough trust. It comes when you're on your toes, when you got to perform. That's where it comes from, man. Like back in the old days. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll let you get on so you can get some more people on your lovely channel, my friend.
Chucky, mate, thank you so much for coming on as always. It's an absolute pleasure to hear your thoughts on United. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it as always, man. And hope you have a good rest of your day.
Oh, I'm going to have a good rest of the day, and then we can go watch Greenwood score a hat-trick in the Europa League. Oh yeah, guys, we're going to win Europe. We're going to win Europe.
Of course. Hey. Got that to look forward to. No pressure on that either. We can just go at that as well. So good times. But mate, thanks for coming on, and make sure you guys check out United at the Wheel. Great stuff on there. Great content on there. Make sure you check out all his stuff. And make sure you check it out, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Share the love around. But Chucky, mate, thanks for coming on as always, man. Really appreciate it.
Easy, man. Peace. Bless.
Chucky, as always, providing some brilliant insight. And I'll get you on Kasim next if you want to call in, mate. But that'll probably be the last call as well. Because we haven't even been going for an hour. But listen, when it's all positivity, when it's all about positive vibes, I don't care how long I'm going for. It's just absolutely amazing to be talking positively and to be talking about this United team and where we could be going in the future, because there's good times ahead. For once, we can say there are good times ahead. Kasim, how are you doing? I'm sure you're absolutely buzzing after that. What were your thoughts, mate? What were your thoughts?
Wait, one sec. No, I can't. I was going to show you something, but yeah, man, I'm feeling... What's it called? I'm feeling excellent, but today's performance was absolute dog. Ollie needs to go. Like, this team is absolute crap. I'm just joking. But yeah.
I thought for a second there, I was like, oh god, I'm going to cut you off, but no, carry on, mate.
Yeah, but of course we got Champions League, and then we're gonna be hopefully at Bernabeu, Nou Camp, Allianz. Now, Champions League, man, this gives me so much hope because we might get to sign, Pogba to a new deal. We might sign Grealish, and we might even sign Sancho. And if we get these 3 things done, it's better than Chelsea's summer. Next season, we've got 4-horse race. The Premier League next season, bro, I think next season's going to be the best season ever. Do you think so?
I think it could be.
Next season's going to be...
It could be an absolute cracker, mate. It really could. I think in terms of competitiveness, I think next season there will be a lot... I think there's only 4 teams. I think there's going to be 4 teams. I think it could be very competitive at the top, especially, as you said, it could be 4 teams going for it potentially. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I really am looking forward to it. But yeah, in terms of what you saw today, unbelievable.
And just a mention of Manchester United being in the 4-horse. You know what Ollie said? Do you see what Ollie said, right? It's even though this might be a little bit, low thing. That's going on.
I think there's a little bit of a connection issue. I think I was lagging a little bit there, to be fair.
No, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh yeah, man, like that was absolute. Hello?
I can hear you, mate. I can hear you. You carry on.
Yeah, but definitely, man. Like, I can't wait to go back to my school, right? Because this, and he's on my nerves every time. So great to ban him, man. Then I don't even. Talking of upwards, and that's very big. And it's going to be a United stand and chill tonight, really. So I'm just going to watch everything.
Why not, mate? Why not? Why not? Just go for it, mate. Why not? Listen, I just think you have to absolutely revel in the win. You got to take it in. Wins like this and situations like this don't happen often. We've won on the final day to get us Champions League. It's a big win no matter what anyone says. In terms of the transfer window, obviously, I was asking the guys before about who you'd like to see bring in. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is the man on everyone's lips at the moment. What are your thoughts on the Sancho deal? Do you think, like Chucky, it's a must-do deal? Or do you think, like Daryl, actually, maybe we should be looking elsewhere to strengthen our squad?
We need Sancho, definitely. We need quality, so much quality. I said a couple of weeks ago that Greenwood is the man, but I think Sancho, for me personally, but I would bring in I think I'll probably bring in 3 players on the right, and then also like remember the last time I was on about Florentino. I think it was your show.
Yeah.
I think I would go for him as well. 2 midfielders, and then this. I'd go for some centre backs, and then after that, I think we're set. But I want Jessie Lingard. What are your thoughts on Jessie? Would you keep him?
Oh, it's a good question. That actually is a good question. I think for me, Jessie
Because
Lingard.
I see.
Oh no, sorry, you go on.
No, you go on. Come on.
Okay.
Would you keep Lingard?
Would I keep him? Is a good question. For me, I think that realistically, is Jessie Lingard part of a title-winning squad? I'm not sure. I don't think he's the worst player that we have on our bench or in our kind of match day 30 squad. But I do think that if we are going to be challenging for Champions League and Premier League, I think we need better quality depth than the likes of Jessie Lingard. But I think if we were to bring in more players that would bring better depth, I don't think that Jessie Lingard has to really make way. I think there's definitely other players who should probably make way first before Jessie Lingard does. But having said that, I don't think Jessie Lingard realistically is going to get back into the starting 11. So if he wants to move because he's not getting enough game time, then I fully support him on that, because he's actually not, in terms of his United career, he's actually had a decent United career, provided us with loads of great moments as well, cup final goals, important goals in the league. So for me, I think he's done a really good job for United over the years, even though this year hasn't been brilliant. But yeah, for me, I wouldn't look to sell him straight away, but if he had to make way for some better talent on the bench, then I don't think you could really argue against that. What are your thoughts, Kasim?
I love Lingard, and it just brought me back. Like Lingard, for me, he is.
Oh.
He's terrible. Great girl. Obviously, what's the issue? A couple of weeks ago, what happened when Lingard started season? So where did he come on? What did he do to friends?
Yeah.
Where was he? I believe there's definitely a player in Lingard. Lingard, in the last 30 minutes, bring him on because he's going to press the man. Not at the midfield. Like this. Up and down, up and down, up and down. So Lingard throw him as the right winger so he can press. And if very good man, I want Lingard. I want Lingard to stay.
Lingard to stay.
In the comments, like.
Sorry to interrupt.
Have they met the Lingard?
Sorry to interrupt you, Cass, in there. Just your voice keeps kind of dropping in and out a little bit. I caught most of what you were saying, but your voice keeps I don't know why, but your voice keeps like dropping in and out and stuff. So I didn't catch exactly everything of what you said. But yeah, I mean I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's my problem or the internet or whatever, but it just unfortunately keeps dropping in and out. Which probably not your fault. Don't worry about it, mate. But yeah. But yeah, you can, I mean, yeah, seems like I've got a little bit of connection issue. So you know what? I'll Captain, if you can hear me, mate, I'll end the call now, and then if you want to try and come back on, you can, but if not, don't worry about it. You made some good points anyway if you don't come back on, and just in case you don't, thanks for calling in, mate, appreciate it, but if you do call back on, then I'll get you on for a little bit, but anyway, yeah, we'll see if we can sort those connection issues out. If we can't, then I don't know what to do, really. I don't know what to do with that. Which is frustrating because I want to hear what he's got to say. I want to hear what everyone's got to say, to be honest. But yeah, listen, buzzing. I've said a lot of what I want to get you on. I want to ask you guys what you guys think, because I've said a lot of what I've got to say. To be honest, there's not much else you can say other than absolutely buzzing. We're going to win the league. We're going to win the Champions League next season. It's on. It's on. I don't care what anyone says. It's on. It is on. So, absolutely just... I mean, like, when was the last time we had one of these things? PSG. I think the last time I felt this good about a result was the PSG game, to be honest. Doing it when it matters, and that's the main thing. So, yeah. But, guys, unless anyone else wants... Oh, no, we're getting Cassim back. We'll get Cassim back for the last little bit, and then if anyone in the chat wants to have their say as well, just let me know. If not... then we'll probably end the stream after Cassim's had his say. But yeah, Cassim, mate, sorry about that. I don't know what was going on with the internet or whatever. But glad that you're back. Glad you're back with us. So I'm not sure. I can't remember what you were saying before you left. I think it was something about Jessie Lingard. I heard that you wanted Lingard to stay. If you want to finish your point, feel free.
Yeah. So what are the comments saying about Lingard, if there is any?
Well, Sam here says, he said, I think we'll have to keep one of Andreas or Lingard just because of squad numbers. I would keep Jessie over Andreas. So actually, Sam somewhat agreeing with you, saying that actually keeping Jessie Lingard wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But yeah, I think that's the main comment I can see about Jessie Lingard. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
A very good performance for the team today, and of course I agree with Sam there. But I'm just happy with the performance today because we didn't play that good, but we won. That shows a sign of a winning team.
Exactly.
But bro, I want Manchester United to win Premier Leagues next season.
Of course.
I said I don't think we'll win the league, but I say the season after we'll win the league, definitely. But I can't wait I can't wait, man, for 2 years. Like, hopefully next season, fingers crossed, we win the Premier League and the Champions League. But it's going to be a hard task. And rumours are going around on Twitter saying Sancho to United by August 13th. So maybe there's something in that. But I expect Sancho to be done in the next maybe couple of days or so. So, yeah, man. Yeah. Transfer window actually opens tomorrow.
I just remembered. Yeah, Monday, of course. Monday the 27th, it gets opening. So maybe we'll see some deals accelerating.
Maybe we might even get the deal done tomorrow. Who knows?
Who knows, mate? That'd be absolutely... I mean, that would probably be the best 2 days Man United have had in a long while. But just final question. Obviously, Sam's saying he wants to come on as well. Final question, Kasim, is about the Europa League. Obviously, we still have to play the Europa League. How far do you think we'll get in the Europa League? And would you just play the kids in that game, in the Europa League games? Or would you play the kids up until a point, and then when it starts getting to the semi-finals and final stage, if we do get there, then we should go back to our strongest 11? Or do you think we should just play the kids in the tournament and try and blood the youth a little bit?
I'd give Fernandes a rest, and I'd give Fernandes rest and I'd play Pogba. I don't know what's the situation. Can we not get Angel Gomez onto a new deal?
Well, I mean, I think if he's out, I'm pretty sure he's out of the deal. He's out of the club, really. So I feel like
he's not signed.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know when the cut-off point of that is. I'm not sure if there already was a cut-off point. But I mean, I guess in theory we could. As I said, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have to see on that. But yeah, it would be kind of cool to see Angel Gomez play. I think obviously T Chong and stuff will play, but yeah, obviously I've had enough of my say. What are your thoughts?
I think personally, I'll probably rest some players for the quarterfinals and second leg. Semi-finals, that's when I'll probably bring the big guns back. But I'd give the big guns some rest, like go on the beach with Ollie. I think I wouldn't even give Ollie the time to tactics and all that. You know how Klopp did the FA Cup? Like, do that. Like, let Ollie and the players just rest up until the new season. And just give Mike Phelan the job, or Carrick the job for Europa League. If we win the Europa League, one achievement. But I'd give Ollie and all the players some rest time for the new season. And yes, Champions League time as well, man. Hey. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
I mean,
but mum on the match today.
Oh, go on, yeah, good.
I'd say I'll give the man of the match to Lindelof.
I think that's a good shout, mate. I think that's a very good shout. I thought he actually played really well today alongside Harry Maguire. I thought their partnership was very good. Kept Vardy quiet for most of the game. He was trying to make his runs, but I thought he defended very, very resolutely. And yeah, I think Lindelof was definitely a big part of that today. And I think he's had his critics, but actually I thought he did brilliantly today. Is Kasim just gone there? Yeah, Kasim's gone. I'm not sure if he was going to call back, but I was about to end it anyway. So, Sam, if you want to come on for the last little bit, mate, I'd love to have a chat with you. Love to see what you have to say about everything, about all this. So yeah, if you want to call in, please feel free to do so. And then probably after that, we'll wrap it up. And I almost don't want to wrap it up because this is probably one of the best reviews I've done on the channel in ages. But obviously, all good things have to come to an end at some point. It's just the nature of life, really. So yeah. But just revel in this win on social media and all that good stuff. Inject it, guys. Inject it. Honestly, all the comments you're gonna get, all the salty comments from rival fans. It's what we want. And it shows we're coming back as a force, a major force in this team. Here we go. We've got him on.
Hello?
Sam, mate, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great, Sam. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. What a win, eh? Yeah. What a win. We got the 3 points. We've got into the Champions League. And you said it. You said it to me. The Bruno Fernandes penalty. We've broken the penalty record. What a day. What a day. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just buzzing, to be honest, like everyone else. I mean, we're all, like you said, we haven't had this sort of moment since the PSG game. I think that's the last sort of moment where we've all just been sort of united and just sort of agreed and just loved the performance. So yeah, well, even though it wasn't a great performance, we did what we had to do today, didn't we? Let's be real. It wasn't great. It wasn't, vintage, but it didn't have to be. Like, we could anything would have done today. And we spoke about the Bruno penalty and we got it, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
We got the record and just yeah, it had to be a penalty, didn't it? And I don't know if you saw Bruno's tweet as well. He said, like, jumping into the Champions League. So I still can't believe his little penalty technique he does. But yeah, he's got balls still, that guy. But buzzing, mate. I'm looking forward to the Europa League now. For me, I don't know if you're the same. Like, I know you've been speaking about it, but I think we can rest a few players and we can play. Agallo, Greenwood can obviously play as well. Obviously, I know he's been playing, but we can just give him a full run of that as well. And McTominay, Fred can come in. But yeah, I'm just buzzing, mate. I think just repeating what everyone's saying, but yeah, it's all about now what we do in the summer, isn't it? We've
100%.
got. I've seen a lot of people tweeting about this. Ollie's done his job. Now Woodward has got to do his. And he's got to go out there and get the targets that he wants. Because if we are going to challenge, like what you've been talking about, we need some squad, don't we? To bring up, I think we only made one sub today. Oh no, Agallo came on, didn't he, as well? So Lingard and Agallo came on today. And McTominay as well. But behind Bruno, behind Pogba, behind the front three, there's not really anyone really pushing them for competition. So yeah, we definitely need to improve there. What do you think in terms of Sancho? Obviously, I think for me, he's got to sign him. You've got to go for him.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I agree. I think Sancho, for me, especially the fact we've got Champions League football, we need to be looking at signing those sort of caliber players if we want to challenge next season. I think whilst we do need to look at depth, and I 100% agree that you made a good point. We only really made 2 or 3 substitutions today, and 2 of those substitutions were like time waste subs. Let's be honest, they weren't subs that were coming on to change the game or anything. So I think in depth, especially if you're going to challenge for Premier League, Champions League, and all the competitions in one season, you've got to have those players that you can call upon on the bench if you get an injury or in games where it's not quite working out. And I don't see we have too many of those players. I think Daniel James could definitely become one of those players, and even though this season some would say he's had a bad season, I don't think he's had a bad season, but I am excited to see the development of him, and hopefully he can continue to improve as a player, and as I said, become a really good squad depth player that we know he can be. But I do think we need to add a few more in that place, and yeah, for me, improving the starting 11 as well is key. Sancho would be a big improvement. I think even though he might replace someone like Greenwood, some people are saying after Rashford's performances towards the end of the season, he could replace Rashford instead of Greenwood, because Rashford hasn't exactly been 100% on it since the restart. So maybe Sancho could come in for Rashford, who knows, but I think for me, Sancho, having that front three of either Greenwood, Sancho, or Martial, or Rashford, Martial, Sancho, whatever it is, or whatever Ollie decides, I think that is definitely a title challenging front three if they play to the best of their ability. And as a few people have said, I think central defensive midfielder as well, someone like an Ndidi coming into the squad, I think would really help, especially the fact that Matic, he's not a finished player as we've seen, but I think he is definitely getting on, and I don't think we're going to be able to get too many great seasons out of him, but hopefully he continues to play the way he is right now. Hopefully we can squeeze as much good football out of him as we can. And then maybe a centre back. I was always thinking a centre back to play beside Harry Maguire, someone with a bit of pace. But to be fair to Lindelof, he's doing a decent job right now. So Solskjaer might not look to that position to strengthen. But yeah, for me, I think signing Sancho is definitely a must, and I do have a lot of confidence that it's going to happen, especially after getting Champions League football and the way we've been playing. I think it's very much desirable for Sancho. He can look at it and see the plan of the young players and the young English players coming through, and I think that's definitely an attractive proposition for him. One player I want to ask you about, actually, Sam, is Jack Grealish. I know a lot of people are banding his name about as a potential signing for United. What do you think? Do you think Jack Grealish, we should go in for Jack Grealish? And if we were to bring him in, do you think he'd be more of someone bolstering our squad depth, or do you think he'd be good enough to put straight into our starting 11?
Yeah, I think we should definitely go for someone like Grealish. Even though Villa stayed up, I think they're going to obviously need money. They would have lost a lot of money because of the pandemic at the moment. So I think obviously we're not going to be able to get him on a cheap deal like we would have done if they got relegated. But I still think we're going to get him for a reasonable price. I think he would just. For me, it's more about keeping Pogba and Bruno on their toes. Gary Neville commentary today. If you didn't know it was Bruno Fernandes, you probably would have taken him off because he wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But if you were going to take him off, who are you going to bring on?
True, yeah,
you're not bringing Pereira. You're not bringing Lingard on. At number 10. It's not going to happen. So if you had someone like Grealish sitting on the bench, just waiting, ready for one little mistake from Pogba or Bruno, or a bit of dip in form for a few games, then Grealish comes in. He comes in for the cup games. He comes in for the some of the Champions League group stage games. I think it's all about depth for us. So I would definitely go for Grealish, and for me, I think it's Sancho. Definitely has to sign, because that means imagine being able to bring Greenwood off the bench.
Oh yeah,
he's a deadly finisher. Do you know what I mean? Or even if it was Rashford, or I think Martial is the only one that would keep his place in that front three. Imagine being able to bring Grealish off the bench, Greenwood off the bench. And then for me, it's about just getting another centre-back. I don't necessarily think we have to go out and sign a Koulibaly, a big, expensive centre-back.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's about just having competition for Maguire and Lindelof, because Bailly, for me, he doesn't stay fit, so I don't think he's going to be able to push them and, be good enough competition. And obviously, I'm not even going to mention Phil Jones, but so for me, someone like maybe Nathan Ake, he could maybe give us another option as well. He's a left-sided centre-back as well. So just to keep Lindelof and Maguire on their toes, I think that's the main thing. You look at our squads from the 99 season and in the 2008 season, the two sort of best teams of the last sort of 15, 20 years. They competition for places. So I think that's what we've been missing this season. The boys look knackered today, didn't they?
Yeah,
they because Ollie hasn't been able to change it. So yeah, definitely for me, Sancho, Grealish, and then a centre back. But I can't see us doing much more than that, to be honest. And plus, also we've also got to try and sell a lot of players, and we know Ed Wood isn't that great at his job. So
yeah, that is true. That is something everyone can agree on. But yeah, I think I agree. I think depth is definitely going to be key, and I think you make a good point about the fact that really in this starting 11, whilst our best starting 11 have obviously got us to the position we are now, and that's brilliant. Like, if you look at the bench, there's not exactly that many options that are providing too much stellar competition. And we've experienced it this season when we've had the injury to Pogba or Rashford or Martial. We have struggled slightly, and even though Rashford, when Martial was out, Rashford actually picked up a lot of good form, and his goal scoring form is one of the main reasons as well. We were able to claw back the deficit, because if Rashford wasn't in form and we lost a few more games, we would have been way off it right now. So I think obviously we do have some players that can come in and do a job for us, but I think ultimately right now, if you look at that starting 11, in most positions, apart from maybe you could argue goalkeeper with someone like Sergio Romero behind David De Gea, there's not many positions where we've got stacks of quality behind, or we've at least got two players in that position who could do a job for us. So I think it's a good point. I think, as you said, as you mentioned, all the great sides have these sort of competition. If you look at the Man City side of the last few years, they are absolutely stacked full of quality in their squad.
Their bench is ridiculous. Yeah, 100%.
Aguero this season's been sitting on the bench most of the time. Jesus has been striker. To me, if you said that a few years ago, that Aguero would be warming the bench for Man City, it was just I wouldn't believe you. But obviously Pep has brought in Jesus, and he seems to be doing a decent job. And look, I think the best teams do have depth, and they do have a lot of competition. And it's just about being able to get the players who don't mind knowing that they are competition, and maybe they won't start straight away, but they could easily, if they play well enough and prove themselves, get themselves into that starting place. And I hope we can bring some players in. And I think Grealish is definitely one of those players that would look to do that. It would certainly be a big step up from Aston Villa, who obviously, fair play to them, narrowly escaped relegation today. But final question I want to ask you, Sam, is a question I asked Chucky as well, and Kasim, in terms of like going forward in terms of the future, which is looking a lot brighter after today's result. If we do have a good transfer window, bring in 3 or 4 signings, maybe only 3, let's say. How do you see us going next season? Do you think we'll be title challengers, or do you think maybe that's a bit too far for us to look at? Or do you think we could definitely go for it next season? How do you think next season's going to go?
Well, I don't think Liverpool are going to be as good as they have been this season. I think we were speaking about squads there, and if you look at Liverpool's squad, it's not that deep really. Past their front 3, it's Origi and Shaqiri, and I know there's obviously Lallana go now as well. But yeah, so I don't think Liverpool is going to be as good as they were, but I still think we're not going to be challenging for the league next season. But if we can just consolidate ourselves in the top 4 again, not have to struggle where we're hoping for a win or the last game of the season. If we've got this sort of wrapped up, with a few games to go, I think that would be progress again, and then maybe obviously win a trophy, and that's what United are about. And I think Solskjaer knows that as well. I think he clearly wanted to win the FA Cup. He was, he didn't really rest too many players in that game. So, for me next season, I think it's just consolidating ourselves in the top 4, pushing as much as we can. If we find ourselves, close to the title by December, January, go for it. But for me, just get in top 4 again with that, sort of consolidate ourselves there, and then the trophy. I think that's what we've got to go for. And we could get that this season, to be fair, with the Europa League. But yeah, for me, not a title challenge, but up there. We'll be challenging, maybe the year after.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, you brought up a good point there just quickly as well in the Europa League. I obviously forgot to ask you about that. Obviously, we do have the Europa League. The season's not over yet, United fans. We've still got some games to play. And the good thing is we don't have much pressure on us in that one. But actually, I did want to ask you about how far potentially you think we're going to get in the Europa League this season. Obviously, the pressure is off us now. We don't need to win it. But as you said, United is about winning trophies. And it would be nice to get another Europa League in the cabinet. Always good to get a European trophy in the cabinet as well. Yeah. And it'd be so good for Ollie to win it. How do you see us going in the Europa League? Do you think Ollie will go to the kids and will look to blood some youth as we head towards potentially semi-final or final? Or do you think that after this little break, he'll want to really attack that Europa League?
I think he's going to attack it, like you said. I think he might not go full strength every single game, but I think he's going to obviously want to win a trophy. I think we're obviously going to get past Lask. That's going to be a fully rotated side. But I think we've got Copenhagen, or who is it? I can't remember who else we've got in the next round after Lask. But I think we should win that. We should, Yeah, I think we should win that anyway, whoever it is, which is maybe a little bit disrespectful, but that could come back and bite us. But I think we'll win that. But then for me, it's just we could play Wolves then, isn't it? And then potentially it's Inter Milan in the final, which could be really interesting with Lukaku and Ashley Young, and obviously I don't know if Sanchez will be able to play. But
true, on loan, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think he will go. I think we'll go for it. I don't think he'll play the kids. I think he might rotate slightly, like so Fred and McTominay might come in. But I think he'll stick with Maguire and Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka and Shaw when he's back in. I don't think he's going to change that. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to drop Bruno or Pogba because he knows that we haven't got anything else behind them. But
true, yeah.
we might see a Garlo maybe instead of Martial and maybe a bit of Dan James. But yeah, I think he's going to go for it and, like you said, try and get a trophy. But we can just enjoy it now, can't we? That's the relief. It's great that the Premier League season's done now. We've got what we wanted to get. But yeah, bring on some more football. Why not? Let's go out and just enjoy this Europa League now and try and win it. And then obviously we start again in September with the Premier League straight away.
100%, and as you said, obviously it's a winner trophy. I mean, to see Solskjaer lifting the trophy would just be so good as a United fan, a United legend lifting a trophy, and I'm sure that's the same sort of thing that Arsenal and Chelsea fans are feeling going into this FA Cup final. A former player lifting a trophy. And just just all the doubters as well of Ollie. If he's lifting that trophy, it'd be so good to see. But
beautiful.
If we do go and attack, if we do attack the Europa League with a decent side, I can see us getting deep into the Europa League. I mean, I don't think it's too disrespectful to say that we're probably favourites in our game after last. To be fair, I think the way we're playing, we're definitely on paper we're far and away favourites in that one. But in knockout competition, especially because they've made it one-off games. Anything can happen. It's all about who turns up on the day. But obviously that's in the future. We can enjoy that, as you said. No stress. We can just enjoy the football, which is so good.
It's going to be beautiful.
Because we haven't been able to do that. All these games since the restart, I've been really worried because we know this is a must-win, and then the next game's a must-win, the next game's a must-win, and now we can just kind of lie back and just enjoy it, enjoy watching the football, and hopefully there is some good football to be played until before the end of the season. But Sam, mate, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And very insightful stuff. Make sure you check out Sam United TV if you haven't already. Really
Thanks
good
a lot,
stuff
mate.
on there. But yeah, cheers, Sam. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, you too, mate. Yeah, and we done it.
We did it, mate. We did it. What were we worried about?
Easy.
Yeah, cheers, mate. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
There you go, Sam. Summed up what I think a lot of United fans were thinking. Asian Gamer, thanks for joining. He says third, bitches. I can't agree. I mean, you've basically summed it up, Asian Gamer. You summed it up. De Gea nearly cost us again. Yeah, look, we don't want to be negative, but obviously, yeah, De Gea nearly made a hash of it. He nearly got punished, and I thought if that went in, it just would have been curtains for us. I just think we wouldn't have been able to recover from another goalkeeper mistake. So glad it was on our side. And to be fair, I think we did get the rub of the green slightly. Obviously, Leicester hit the post a few times. They miskicked a few times. So on a different day, we could have lost this game. But we got the 3 points, and it doesn't matter. We're in third. Happy days. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. Really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Home of the third best team